fighting his deportation from a U.S. detention center in El Paso, along with his son.
He sought asylum in the U.S. and was summarily denied.
Case, a Mexican journalist has asked for asylum because he says the military has threatened to kill him.
All right, El Paso Processing Center, 15 minutes.
Head southwest on East Candle Drive toward North St. Frame Street.
Okay, you're the boss. So about a decade ago, Emilio Gutiérrez was writing about corruption in the Mexican military, and that's when he was hunted and threatened and attacked by the Mexican military. So it was around that time that he tried to seek asylum in the United States, and his case has been winding its way through the courts ever since. An American judge decided that Emilio should be deported. So Emilio and his son have been in detention here in El Paso since December, and we've been trying to get in, and the final word is that yes, we can, but we can only get audio, not video, which is what this is all about. There's so many questions to ask these two, including, you know, how long do you think you can hang on? And what exactly is likely to happen if you do get sent back to Mexico? We'll see what we get. Hola, Oscar. I'm Adrian. You guys are gonna have to go to Emilio. 1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour. Okay, thank you.
My first question for either one of you, but mostly you, Emilio, how are you?
Es una experiencia por demás desagradable, en donde las autoridades buscan destruir la autoestima. Yo he pensado que es mejor enfrentar en un momento dado la muerte en México que seguir en este lugar en donde estamos viviendo la espera de la muerte todos los días.
What's it like to hear your dad talk like this?
Well, it was very depressing hearing him like talking like that, because well, we're together, you know, and if he lose, I lose, and so we're both in dangerous if we go back into Mexico.
What was the moment when you first knew in Mexico that you were in big trouble?
La agresión directa de un general en mi contra, después el allanamiento en mi casa, en nuestra casa, después de que vi cómo era vigilado por militares.
Oscar, the decision seemed to be that the judge wasn't sure your dad was a journalist, and then also said that the Mexican government has a program to protect him.
It doesn't work. It's the same government that does that program, so we're running away from that government.
En México no hay protección para los periodistas. La opinión del juez al asegurar que en México podríamos lograr la protección es una locura. A mí me gustaría que pasara un fin de semana en Ciudad Juárez sin protección, para que se dé cuenta de la gravedad y de la irresponsabilidad con la que se condujo al negarnos el asilo.
The longer you stay in here, the longer your son has to stay in here. I mean, at some point, your fight might be hurting him.
Es algo que me llena de dolor, que todos los días lamento. Y espero que algún día me comprenda.
Tu calmes bien un petit.
¿Cómo está?
¿Dinero?
La. ¿Qué es su nombre?
Mío, Luis.
Luis. Luis.
Ernesto.
Ernesto. Okay.
Ya.
So, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do?
Yo soldado. Yo americana.
Americana.
Como la migra.
Americano.
Sí, americano.
Not Mexican.
Yo quiero ser chino.
They're actually saying they want to be Americans?
Estamos pobres. Quiero ser chino. Estamos pobres.
Okay, we'll get on that. Okay, thank you so much. Yes. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. I have chosen to specialize in Mexican political asylum, and so what I basically do is try to give refuge to refugees.
As you know, we went in, we spoke with Emilio. This section is just a little bit where he's a bit expressive.
Yo he pensado que es mejor enfrentar en un momento dado la muerte en México que seguir en este lugar.
I'm wondering, anything surprise you about that?
It's traumatizing to be locked up when you've not committed a crime, because he is now being persecuted by the American government. This is outright persecution. You know, it's payback for him denouncing Mexico and denouncing the U.S., and there's no other reason why he shouldn't be released. Absolutely none.
I can imagine a number of Americans listening to this saying, A, don't care, B, so what that he's a journalist? What are they not getting?
What they're not getting is that the best and I think only hope for for democracy in Mexico is transparency and accountability. And the one institution that is in the best position to do that is the Mexican press.
But what does that have to do with them, though?
It keeps Mexicans at home. You want to keep Mexicans at home? Help Mexicans stay at home by being able to file complaints and deal with human rights abuses.
Well, and live and work without fear of being killed for it.
Exactly.
What happens to Emilio if he gets deported?
If he goes back home to Chihuahua, where he has his ancestral home, he's dead. They would kill him. He's just another troublemaker that needs to be taken care of.
So to figure out what it's really like for a journalist in Mexico, we're going to head into Juarez. So where we're heading is right to that red X. That's a sculpture right in the middle of Juarez.
Ciudad Juarez, one of the most violent
Several
cities
hundred
in the
people
world.
have been killed there since the beginning of the year.
Hooded gunmen line people up against a wall and open fire.
Mexican authorities say new information has surfaced in connection with the deaths of 3 people.
The real problem in the police department right now is corruption.
There are a lot of murdered journalists in Mexico, and their cases go unsolved. So we're going to speak with one of the premier investigative journalists in Mexico. She works for a newspaper called El Diario de Juarez. So Sandra Rodriguez has spent years digging into what and who is behind the violence, and there's a price for that. She left Juarez for a few years after some specific threats, and just there, right by her desk, is a shrine to a fellow reporter killed in the storm of danger here.
Estamos viviendo la espera de la muerte.
He's broken by the detention center right here.
In the case of Emilio, the judge said, you'll be fine in Mexico because there is a program to protect journalists. I mean, your face immediately just screwed up. What do you make of that?
If he fears to be here, and the only protection he has is this program of the government is like useless. There are a lot of examples of how this program have failed to other journalists, like very specific examples of people killed or threat, etc.
Well, isn't part of the problem, too, that if you're writing about the military and the government, which are so connected, and you're writing about corruption within the two of them, how can you trust those organizations to protect you?
That's the foundation of the fear that Mexico is, I mean, the population is living, because you don't trust authorities. That's the worst scenario, where the police or the people that's supposed to protect you is the people that is scaring you or threatening you, or because you don't know. In this environment, you don't know anything.
What does a threat in Mexico actually for you look like? What does that sound like?
It was something that I was kind of expecting, because I was like testing what can you do, what you cannot do. And I thought that this was particularly dangerous, and they sent a message. But I don't like to talk about it because, seriously, I don't like to talk about it.
So you stopped writing about that subject?
That is specific subject. They didn't want names in the stories, specific names. And we kind of knew it, and we did it, not just me. But that is not, seriously, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
HBH Chicago, final recall.
Esto es una llamada de pagada por Emilio Gutiérrez-Soto, El Paso Processing Center. Bueno.
Oscar, it's Adrian. How are you?
Really good, how are you?
Good, thank you. So do you know what the next stage is for you?
We're together, you know, they're not separate us or something, we're together.
Hola, Emilio. ¿Cómo está? It's Adrian.
Todo bien.
Are you able to let us know if something happens with your case?
Yo tengo ya sus teléfonos y yo inmediatamente les comunico.
Gracias, muchas gracias, Emilio.
Okay, muchas gracias.
So, Andrew, we tried to find some kind of clarity on Gutiérrez-Soto's fate from officials. We went to U.S. Citizenship and Immigration, the Department of Homeland Security, the Justice Department, all said nope in terms of talking about his case specifically or do any sort of interviews with us.
So, Adrian, where does the case go next?
It's hard to say. You know, we know that a judge decided that really any evidence he had of the threat against him in Mexico wasn't up to snuff, that his fears aren't credible. And so, you know, they're agreeing to him having another hearing. It's probably scheduled for August, but like so much of this case, it's definitely not a sure thing. You can, by the way, find more pictures and more about Emilio's story on our Instagram page at CBC The National.